What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, Diplomata Special Edition, or SE. I'm assuming the SE stands for Special Edition. This is what we're going to be working on today. It's a new car, or relatively new car, added to the Steam Workshop by bdasilvacarvalho. Again, probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. But anyway, go and search on Steam for this beautiful, beautiful looking car. I do like a square body car. There is two of these. There's the Diplomata SE from, I want to say, 91 or something like that. Where's this one? 92, close. And there's another Chevrolet Opala from 89 or late 80s, something along those lines. There is two. They're both by the same person, so it doesn't matter if you want to grab them or not, either or. The one we're working on today is the 92 Opala Diplomata SE. And yes, it is Diplomata. I would have thought it ended in diplomat, but maybe this is built for Southern American markets, is all I'm going to say. I don't actually know. I've never even heard of this car / have seen this car before, but I am from a tiny island in the middle of the ocean known as the United Kingdom. So could just be that my sheltered life has led me to not see one of these, but they look quite cool. I quite like the square bodiness of it, or especially that front end. I think that front end looks really smart, but I do like things squared off. You must have known that by now. But yes, this is what we're going to be working on today. It should be a lot of fun. I'm not sure what we've got available, so we're going to be checking that out as we go along with any liveries and what sort of colours we can work through in the paint shop today. If we open up this engine bay, it does open the other way. I forgot that. We do have an i6 in there, and we are going to be keeping that i6 in there. We'll talk about that one in just a minute. But if we jump inside, the first thing I'm going to say is it looks complete. I don't think I am missing anything at all from this build. So far, so good. I mean, all the bushings are there, all the suspensions there, the inner and outer tie rods, the end links, so on and so forth, both front and back. For once, or I won't say for once, for very little does this actually happen, but we do have a full, complete car. Obviously, we're not going to be able to use everything from this. We're going to have to tear some bits down, strip them apart, replace some parts, upgrade some parts, make sure some parts are tuned and ready to go, because we are going to be attempting to drag race this beast today. I say attempting as we jump in and check out the engine. As I said, it is the i6 overhead valve. Now, we can swap it for any of these V8s, but if we do that, I'm pretty confident the exhaust won't line up. All of the V8s have a dual exhaust or two front exhaust sections, whereas the i6 only has the one, and it's currently set up for the one. So yes, you can swap any of these engines in there, and that's wonderful. But for me, the exhaust, things have to line up, otherwise I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. You should know that by now. But yes, so we're going to be keeping that i6 engine in there with a whopping 161 factory horsepower. We will obviously be tuning that and increasing it as much as we possibly can, because we are going to be drag racing this beast a little bit later on. See how well a cheeky little i6 does on the drag strip. Did we get a good deal for our beautiful Opala? Absolutely not. 7,578 is what I paid, and I could currently sell it for 5,782, losing out on 1,796 before we start. Hopefully, we can claw some of that back from drag strip winnings, and also what we do to the car. One of the colour variants, is that a standard colour? We'll definitely be checking that one out a little bit later. I do like a cheeky little light blue. We'll see how that one turns out. Might just encourage us to that's what we stick with. But there we go. This is what we're going to be working on, the beautiful Chevrolet Opala. I just want to say one more time, congratulations to S1 with that Christmas build. It is absolutely fantastic. Blown away by it. I mean, I picked some suggestions of builds that they could do in the comments with like cars wrapped in tinsel and stuff like that, Christmas lights and all of that going on. There was a modern Charger, Dodge Charger in there that did have sleigh runs instead of wheels, and I kind of just thought someone might try and replicate that under the wheels or over the top of the wheels, but this was a whole new level. So congratulations, S1. It was absolutely fantastic. We really enjoyed it. The next competition is already up and running. It is Italian Stallion, so anything that you can get in the game, mod, DLC, law cars, anything you want, as an Italian car. Has to be from Italy. That's the only prerequisite. Apart from that, you can do whatever you want with it. Links on screen now to the official Red Dot Games Discord server, obviously in the description below as well. Click on that. Go over and check it out. Have some fun with us. Also, we've got the Taxi DLC coming very, very soon. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you some videos on or around release date, maybe a little bit early, if I can persuade the guys at Red Dot Games to let me have it. Fingers crossed on that one. But we shall see. Anyway, back to this beautiful Opala. I'm not reckon we're going to be breaking any speed records with this one today. I don't think we're going to get it into the top 10. It is only an i6 pumping out 161 factory horsepower. We've definitely got our work out ahead of us today, but let's get it started by getting this beautiful little Opala all cleaned up and ready to go back together shiny and new. She's all clean. Well, you know, sort of. She's clean. Still rusty as anything you'll ever see, apart from that front bumper. I'm liking that, though, because that should be a plastic part. But the rust has definitely taken over this bad boy. But anyway, she's up in the air. Let's get a good look on the underside. There's definitely a lot of work cut out ahead of us there. And there is an oil pan, so we are going to have to drain that oil. I actually just moved my head to the side to avoid hitting that tyre in a game. How stupid. But anyway, let's crack on. Get the oil drained out. That was a sliver of oil and it was dark as anything you like, but that's the oil drained out. So if we jump in underneath, we need to get started with our starter. Is this not better be one from above? It's not. That's fine. Out you come. Nice and simple. We've also got our drive shaft. We don't have to add anything to the shopping list because we are taking absolutely everything off, so we'll be able to find it in our inventory. And in my handheld inventory, I only keep what I'm working on the current build, so that's all we're going to have with us. Out with this gearbox. Out you come. Ooh, 2 rusty bolts on there. Out you come 1 and 2, and that should be all of that. We should be able to now lift this engine out. I might have missed something. I haven't worked on an i6 or that style i6 in a very long time, so let's go and grab the engine crane and see if we did get everything. Then we can start taking the wheels and stuff off. Open you up and out you come. We did get everything. It's always good to see. I like that. Let's go quickly put this one on the engine stand because we're not going to buy a brand new engine today because we should have everything we need on this one. Potentially. We're still going to work out what everything costs and everything like that to get it all repaired. We're still going to have to buy some parts to go with it. So we'll see how that all turns out just a little bit later on. But not a bad looking block if it wasn't for all of the rust and grime on there. But anyway, let's get back to our beautiful little Opala. We already checked earlier. We do think everything's on it. So let's just start taking some bits off. We're going to get, if I could select it there, off with our front wheels. We've got lovely disc brakes at the front there. Is it disc brakes at the back or is it drums? That looks like drums to me, which is a bit disappointing. It is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. No big deal. Single cover. Oh, so we're using a TK Aftermarket rear axle on this one. If you have TK Aftermarket, you'll get access to this, which means we take that cover off and we got the differential and stuff like that to take out from the inside. We've obviously got our full exhaust running through the middle and all of our engine bay items up here. Let's just take a quick look and see what we've got. There's our cheeky little battery. We've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 reservoirs we need to drain, and obviously a fuse box along with our radiator that doesn't have a fan housing kit. So let's get on and drain some liquids and then move on and start sorting out the bodywork once I've sorted out all the suspension and engine stuff. So you want to go, just make sure, right click, additional tools, drain tool, and then click on hold in the reservoir you'd like to empty. It just drains it out nice and simple like that. There we go. I'm going to get the rest of these done, get all of this stripped out, get all of the engine and suspension and stuff like that repaired, replaced or upgraded, and we'll come back at the time to start stripping this beautiful Diplomat SE or Chevrolet Opala, whatever you want to call it, then getting it back together before heading into the paint shop. Let's start stripping everything out. I'll be back in just a minute. That's everything mechanical, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back in our beautiful Opala. Now, we need to work on this bodywork, so let's start tearing it down. Off with the hood, bumper, headlights. Front end is a piece in there. That was the radiator behind it. What else have we got there? Nothing. Mirror, door. We're missing a window there. No windshield in. Rear door. That was a piece underneath, but it did take it off as well, so I need to remember that later. Around the back, we've got rear clamshell, which is a centre light block there. Left tail light, missing the right tail light. Rear bumper and license plate off there. Rear window, out you come. door. Is that an extra window? That does look like a body window on there. So we do have an extra window. Doesn't look like we've got anything else going around there. Is the car part 1 is apart, so we've got our dashboard and stuff on there with floaty dials. Loving a bit of floaty dials. Let's get in and get this interior out and then do one last check and see if we have actually got everything. Bare frame, that's what we like to see. We're just going to go into here and check. Nothing showing up. Absolutely fantastic. Frame is at 9%, and we bought the car for just under 8,000, about 7,500, so not too shabby on that one. What do we think today? I'm going to go, I don't think this is going to be a lot. 500,000. I'm going to go for 1,000. Bang on, absolutely nailed it. Love to see it. Doesn't happen very often. There we go. Look at the car being fixed in a, I'm going to say that that's a silvery colour, but obviously inside the engine bay it goes a bit matte, so the car itself is definitely in a silver. Probably not what we're going to stick with, but before we do that, let's go and check out the body shop. So fresh import goods, because it is a mod, and then our beautiful Chevrolet Opala just there. There's our dashboard, just the one piece. So car part 2, that's the bit underneath maybe the front door, and then this bit's underneath the rear door. I'm not sure. We'll check it out as we put it back together. Just the one front bumper, just the one front end, doors, fenders, hood. Looks like everything's just a like for like on this one. Although rear right fender, that is massive. Covering from the front into the back of the car. Like to see that one. I wonder if that's like optional in place of these. Or, oh no, they go with it because it's got the trim. I can see it now. So we'll have to figure all of that out. Trunk piece. We've got everything we need. But it's all just like for like. So that's nice and simple. We like to see it. I'm going to go and repair what I can repair for this beautiful Opala. Buy what we need to buy. Get this piece back together. I wonder... Oh, didn't mean to go into photo mode there. I thought I had the car. I wonder what we've got for the front seats and how close they match to the rear. So that's what it's expecting. We might go with them. We'll see. I mean, actually, look at the headrests. They're identical. So we are going to stick with them, but we may try again. Different materials, different colours, things like that. We'll see what looks good inside our little Opala. So yes, I'm going to go repair what I can, buy what we need to buy, get this beautiful car back together, and then it's into the paint shop. It's time to get this tame Opala. Yeah, that's what I thought. All back together and ready to go with the crickets still chirping in the background. Let's crack on with that. That went on for a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I needed short on that one. But anyway, let's crack on. Front left fenders, on you go. Obviously, we've got the hood. Lovely cheeky little bit of front end just there. Looking nice in black, actually. Front bumper on there. Headlights on you go. And that is all just is what it is. So it just needs to go back together as it came apart. Some blank virtual mechanic plates on there just for the time being. In with the windshield. Now, this is the bit I quite like. On with the doors. We'll get the doors and the windows in up here. On you go, and obviously on with that mirror just there. Now, under here, we've actually got a couple of pieces once the doors are on. You've got the rear left fender, which is obviously all the way down to the back, including a side skirt, a little bit of arching around the wheel arch, a little bit up the front there, along with a little piece up here. So there's quite a lot of area that you can use for this one. So we'll slam you on, looking quite good. And obviously it's got the Diplomata SE badge on there. Car part 2 is the same bit, but for the door. And then car part 4 is the same bit for the rear door. And obviously, lovely little checkerboard finish there. Quite like how that's turned out. Looking quite nice. Maybe that's something we'll implement in the final build. Probably not. But anyway, rear window on you go there. And then we've got that rear clamshell, which is the centre light piece. Oh, jumpy mouse. Right, left and right tail lights on there, and the rear bumper. We've also got the trunk with the Chevrolet badge just on it there, and a plain license plate for the back. Before we put the doors on this side, I'm going to get our lovely little dashboard in, so all our dials now line up. Thank you. Rear fender on you go, and then obviously we've got the doors in, windows, mirror, and them little door trim pieces, whatever you want to call them. Car part 3 and car part 5. This side not looking as good because it's not checkerboard, because that side was all brand new. We've also got our front right fender on there. I don't know why I had to say it twice. So good you had to say it twice. I'm not sure. But that should be everything for the bodywork. It does look pretty good. I'm not sure how I feel about these. I feel like they could have had a bit more arch going up around, just finishing that piece off. But I don't think that's the designer's, the creator's fault, the mod creator's fault. I think that's probably more of a design element. But there we go. So it's the same at the front, but again, it would have been nice with just a little bit of trim around there. Maybe just like keeping it a bit wider, that kind of thing. But it still looks good. Let's get on and get our interior in, starting with our rear bench, which is the Valsen bench. Looking quite nice in there. And we've also got the Valsen front seats to go with it. And I did try a couple of steering wheel options, but they were all way misplaced, so I just went with the original one that came with it on this steering wheel 9. And what I'm going to do is just jump into photo mode. We'll glide through the window. As you can see, that one lines up pretty well in there. All the other ones, this chunky block was sort of starting down here and coming out up here. My custom ones that Multy made for me, the bolts were all out here, so it was all a little bit too much. So I think that one fits it the best, so we'll stick with that one. Is that everything all back together though? 100%, 100%, 100%. That's what we like. Let's get our Diplomata SE Opala into the paint shop, see if there are any liveries, and then try and pick some nice colours or colour to go on this beautiful little car before we take this beast drag racing. I do really like that checkerboard finish. Not going to stick with it. That might be quite hard to implement when painting a car and things like that. There'd be a way to do it nice and simply, but I don't think that's what we're going to go for today, as much as I do enjoy it. This is the Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE. Let's get on. The first thing first, are there any liveries? No, that's a bit of a shame. There are no liveries, although it does look quite nice in a gloss white. Not too shabby. Probably not what we're going to go for, though. Let's have a look at the factory colours. That's that blue I wanted to look at. I'm not a fan of the solid finish, though. So we'll probably change that one, maybe to a bit of a pearl or something. We'll see what they look like anyway, if that's what we go with. We got a metallic black, a solid black. Don't like the dimply effect. I won't be using that. A solid burgundy, red, brown. Don't know what that one is. This colour here, which I absolutely love. Then we've got the silvery or metallic silver that it came with originally. Solid white, which again, I like it. It looks so bright and lovely, but I don't like solid finishes. They leave a weird texture. Then we've got the sort of darker in the metallic blue, another different solid blue, another different solid blue. Then quite a nice metallic deep red, like in that one. Red solid and a purple solid. I do quite like the purple. No, I don't think that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to go back into this colour here because I quite like it, but we're not going to keep it in a solid finish, not at all. Let's have a scroll through. That looks quite good in pearl, doesn't it? Maybe that's an option. Then we've got a matte. I mean, I do like a matte finish. That does look pretty good in matte, but I think we'll go for something a bit shinier. Not that shiny, though. We could go for a chameleon colour. Oh, the matte chameleon isn't too bad. Definitely shows up that it's chameleon with blue on blue or purple on blue, I suppose, but probably not. Just in a gloss finish, it's still quite nice, but I think the pearl's better. Definitely not solid, so I do think we're going to go with the pearl on that one there. That's looking quite good. I have sort of got a plan. We could, considering this is a piece, these are separate pieces, that's a part of that part. The front bumpers are a separate piece. We could do a different colour bottom trim, like all the way around using these parts, but you'd still get bits of this blue poking up through the middle in the gaps, I believe. Theoretically, you should do. Maybe we should give that a go. Maybe we could go for like a white down here and have it like a blue and white. That might be quite nice. I think that's what we're going to go for. So to match with that, we're going to go... are we going to do all, or am I going to do white rims? I'm going to probably do white rims. So I'm going to paint all screws, but not rims. And we're going to go maximum brightness, 0 saturation, so they should come out white. I just need to double check. I always forget myself. 0 saturation, that is white. Yes, that's what I want. But I want to go back to this colour, nip this one over to pearl again, and just make sure we've got that right. So that should be bright white bolts or plain white bolts and screws all over it with this beautiful blue on the body. I think that's going to look quite nice. I've got a few other bits I want to change. Like I want to see what these look like in the white. We'll give it a go. In fact, I'm just going to take this piece off now and struggled to find it. That was a fender. So paint part, I'm going to go up here. Thanks to Quality of Life mod. Thank you. That was so much easier. We go onto there. We're just going to pick our base white, keep it on the pearl. Thank you. Bit of a wall in the way. We're going to paint that. And I'm just going to slap it back on very quickly, just to sort of give an idea of what it's going to look like. It's actually pretty good, especially if we keep it going all the way around. It's like a two-tone, sort of like a posh smart two-tone, and still keeps all the black trim stuff in there, or the dark grey trim, should I say, because it doesn't turn out black. I like that. I think that's what we're going to go for. I'm going to do that all the way around. That's the only bit I'm not a big fan of. We'll keep it. We'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to be able to paint that piece a different colour. We'll see if we can do something with the interior. Maybe get a bit of blue and white on there, potentially. Possibly, maybe. I'm not 100% on that. And inside the engine bay, it's very blue in there. So maybe like a black and white with some blue heads or something on there. Probably not too much chrome on this one. I don't feel like this is going to be a chromey build. So maybe we'll like black exhausts and stuff like that. That could be quite nice. I think that's what we're going to go for. I've got my work cut out with me painting everything. Obviously the engine, suspension, and all of these extra parts we're going to paint around the body. So I'm going to get that done. We'll get it back on the lifter, start reassembly in just a little while. She's all painted and almost finished, and I love this two-tone finish. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. In my humble opinion, that is. Obviously, we did do all of the bumpers and those trim pieces in a pearl white. And you do see the blue just about underneath it. It got stuck on the other pillar there. And I think it looks really good. I think it turned out really, really well all the way around. The only bits I don't like, as I said, is this vent. If I could have got that in black, I would have been very, very happy with that. We also did the mirrors in a cheeky little white on there. And that front grille, or the front end, just in a pearl black. Just add a little bit more to depth to the front. Make it stand out just a little bit more. If we swing all the way around, you can see that the tail lights all look totally different. I've put 40% white on them using our beautiful window tint toolkit. I believe it's thanks to Quality of Life mod that I can actually do that. But 40% white on there, and I think it looks really good. That's the rear clamshell and the tail lights all got the same finish on. That's 100%, that's 100%, that's 100%, the same as on the other side. And we got 70% on the front window and 70% on the windshield. We didn't do anything with the headlights, and apparently you can also do something with the door on this. I'm assuming it probably changes the colour of them, but I left them as it is. And the dashboard, I'm assuming it's that bit of glass there, but I'm not 100%. While we're here, let's get the interior in. On we go. It is obviously the Valsen seats, but they've got a little cheeky bit of blue in them, which is just the headrests and the seatbelt clips at the back. And for the front, it's the headrest, the seatbelt clips, and the base. Just adding a little bit of something else to it. Steering wheel, we haven't touched. Just left that one as it is. If we close that one up, I think that looks pretty good through there. The rear bench is raised considerably higher than the seats, and I'm quite impressed with it. We've got a few bits to finish off, though, so let's jump in on the underside. We've got our beautiful brake calipers to go on there in the blue. Obviously, our performance part brake calipers are looking very nice. As for the rest of the suspension, just a nice, subtle pearl black on the cross member, matte blue on the bushings, and then the body-coloured blue on all of the extra blue bits you can see, with a lot of pearl black in there as well. I think it's all looking very good. Very nice. Let's just get that brake caliper on. On you go. And we'll swing down to the back, and if I could get there, and get this all finished off. Just the brake drum to go on here in a cheeky blue as well. And if we take a look at the rest of this, it's very similar to the front. Pearl black on the main axle there. We've got a few bits of white dotted around, along with some blue on the bushings and things like that. Also, a blue cover on there with the white bolts, looking absolutely fantastic. On with that other brake drum. We'll come back to the wheels and tyres in a minute. The exhaust you can see running all through here. If I just stop in the middle, that is obviously the middle muffler, which is the what have I used? The resonator delete. No, the resonator delete pipe's that one. Oh no, catalytic converter delete is that one. That's the resonator pipe. I get confused with the two of them, but they are, thanks to TK Aftermarket, extra performance parts on there. And we'll get the front exhaust section on in a bit when we go and finish that i6 engine. We're going to need to open you up. We'll come back to that in a minute. As we come into here, The block and oil pan were both painted in the blue of this standard engine, so I didn't want to keep that, so I thought I'd go white so it doesn't blend in so much with the engine bay. We have still got some of the blue accents on there, so let's get on with it. Obviously, a little bit of blue showing up on that block. I don't think there's anything on this side, actually. Oh, yeah, that's technically a bit of blue, but we'll gloss over that one. Plenty of blacks, a little bit of blue going on at the front there. It's all looking quite nice. You do have 16 rocker arms and push... is it 16 or is it 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 12. It is 12 push rods and rocker arms to go in this one, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's one of those things. But anyway, let's get our engine head cover on, which is in that body match blue, looking very nice, matching with the engine head just underneath it, coming off out the white, very similar to how the body is, looking nice on there. Our ignition wires are in the match blue, just because I think they look really good in that colour. That was as simple as that. The air filter base in the matching blue with our air filter and our cover on top also in that matching blue. I do think that looks quite nice, and it's the same as the car, white at the bottom, blue at the top. I think it looks very good. The last piece to go on this engine is our big old white radiator fan, just to give it something else at that front end rather than sticking something blue on there, because we've got blue radiator, which you'll see in a second. But there we go, that's it, the beautiful i6 tuned engine as well. Not looking as stock as I have been the last couple of episodes, but that's because this one was already technically painted a colour and it would have looked silly to not paint it. So there we go. Let's take you off the stand. Let's go and grab our engine crane and get it dropped in the Opala Diplomata SE. That's hard to say sometimes. There we go. Drop the engine in. Nice, it went in. That's what we like. We'll take a look at it from here. As you can see, the blue on the background there, it doesn't have as much shine, but that's because that's matte and that's pearl. But apart from that, it's looking good. The shocks are a little bit weird, the way they stick up and out. But again, it's one of those things. It is what it is. If we jump in and check out the rest of the engine bay, we did pearl black on the coolant reservoir and the wishy-washy reservoir, along with the power steering. Did nothing on the brake servo because I couldn't find anything that made it look decent in this colour scheme, so I left it as it was. We did the fuse box just in a pearl white there, and obviously our lovely battery tray down here. Pearl white on the base, a chrome black on the tray bracket rod there, and a little bit of blue just on our, what do we even call that? The bracket on the top there. Looking very, very, very nice. I like how that's turned out with the blue because it's so dark on the rest of it. That blue really pops. But there we go. That's it for the time being. So let's get it up in the air. We've got gearbox drive shaft to go in and just a little bit more of that exhaust. The whole of the exhaust is in chrome black, by the way, in case you were wondering. So all of this, that piece there, the rest of this, if I get that front exhaust section in, is all in a chrome black, just to give it a bit more pop underneath the car. Gearbox itself is in white and our beautiful body match blue. Oh, and obviously we've got all our white bolts going in here as well, so I've got to check that out on the engine. I've not seen that yet. Round we go. Some of them, I mean, this up here, that's not looking very white, but where it's on the black, it does look very white, almost the same colour. So it is what it is. I think it's looking pretty good. Definitely could have been better, but it's just the bolts. They don't always go the perfect colour. It's just one of those things, but you still get some nice effects with them anyway. I like it. So anyway, crack on with the drive shaft. Just done that one in a black and white underneath. Obviously, where it's connecting at either end, you've got a little bit of that blue. One down the back there as well. All looking pretty nice. That is pretty much... Oh, I forgot the starter. Can't believe I nearly finished without doing the starter. That would have upset me. That would have... In we go. Just done that one in a black. Obviously, the black and white makes it look pretty good. And that is a pearl black on there. Just some wheels left to go. So let's bring you down just a little bit. Just so a bit more decent height, and we'll get these wheels on. Today, we have gone for the Rim 1A, one of my favourite rims. Now, I've done a bit of mixing matching with the sizes. Originally, they all come with the same size wheel on. I wasn't quite happy with that, so I've gone for a 20-inch rim at the front here with a 255 width, a 40 profile, an ET of 20, just bringing it out a little bit further. So let's throw you on there. As you can see, no clipping there, no clipping underneath, and even the brake caliper doesn't clip through with these deep dish rims. That's why it's got a bit of ET20 on there. The rim itself is finished in our body match blue with a quality of life white on there, and it's option number 4, if you go all the way over, to get the finish like this, with technically three colours on there with the black, white, and the blue. I think it looks pretty good. If we jump down the back, the rear rim, there we go, is a 20-inch rim, 295 width on the tyre and a 35 profile with no ET needed here at the back. Obviously, it's a much thicker rim, but we don't have big chunky brakes that we need to bring it out. So it fits on there nicely on them beautiful drum brakes. There we go. Let's crack on, get around, get the other side all done, get this car onto the floor, make sure we have got it all finished, and I have made all my rims the exact same size, just to be safe. You never know. Oh, lots of people miss this one. When you go to drop it, it says, oh, we can't. The wheel sizes aren't matching or something along those lines. So that's all four rims on. This is this car finished now. I've just got to top up some liquids, get some private plates bought for this one. I'm not sure what to go with yet, so if you had any suggestions, do let me know in the comments. I know it'll be too late by the time I see the video, but I'd like to see what you guys would pick as your custom plate for this Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE. I'm going to get the liquids topped up, and we'll get this beautiful car outside in the sun, ready to go on the dyno, and then some drag racing. Just the one thing left to go for our beautiful Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE, and that's our cheeky little license plate. So off with the black ones on there and on with our finishing ones, which are SE Dragster or Special Edition Dragster, as this is the Diplomata SE, as said right there. Round to the back, let's get the rear one off with the blank plate, and on with the final finished plate. On you go there. Now, one weird thing did happen after I took it to the photo location to take some photos of this beautiful car. And as you can just about see it, there's a little bit of white strip going on between the doors there. I don't quite know what it is, but if we open up that door, you can see that's all gone white. And I'm sure that was all blue earlier, like the inside of the doors is all blue. It's just, I don't know. I think sometimes this happens with the quality of life mod and painting bolts. Not that it's an issue like that, but normally it does the engine bay. And this one hasn't touched the engine bay. It's still perfectly blue in there with a very, very good looking engine. Not a big fan of the shocks coming up through there like that, but it is what it is. Still a beautiful looking engine. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it when the doors are closed. It adds just a little bit of something else to it. Makes them trimmer pieces not look too bad. I know it's not trim, you know, under trim, whatever you want to call it. It makes it look a little bit different and not too shabby. But there we go. That's our Diplomata SE. I think it looks lovely in the blue and white. I'm very pleased with it. I do really like the way these tail lights came out with a bit of white tinting on there, which I've never done before, but it looked really good on there. So there we go. But let's jump inside anyway, see what this little i6 engine sounds like in this Chevrolet Opala. Good looking interior. Dashboard in there looks very nice. We've even got the Chevrolet badge on the stereo. Lovely little tape deck. We like to see it. But anyway, let's get this one started and see what this little i6 sounds like. Not a bad little tick over there. Let's give it some gas. Still sounding a pretty mean at the top end. I wonder how good this is going to be on the drag strip. It didn't have the best power at the beginning at 161 horsepower, so we shall find out. But anyway, it's time to get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. Let's get this Opala dynoed then, and its wonderful i6 engine pumping out 161 factory horsepower. How much have we added today with all of our tuning? And what will its drag rating be? A gain of 147 horsepower, not too bad considering we only started with 161. I will take that. A gain of 91%, almost, but not quite. A whole new engine on top there. With a total power of 307 horsepower. Again, I don't think we're going to be breaking any records with this beautiful little car today. And its drag rating, we're only in the D class of D169. Nice. Anyway, let's have a look and see what the gearbox tune is we've gone for this Diplomata. There she is, a 3.9 ratio. Very low set of gears there. 53k in first gear up to 178 in third gear. I didn't add or take away any gears. I have adjusted these ever so slightly. The ratio is massively up considering what it used to be. And these two are sort of slightly toned back a little bit as they were before. That's what I've gone for on the gearbox tune. We do obviously have one carburetor on this one that is fully tuned and ready to go. And if you want to see how to easily do that every time, there's a link just up here in the right hand corner corner of your screen. But if it's not there, depending on which device you're on, it is linked in the description below. It's less than 60 seconds, a YouTube short. There's also one linked down there to do the ECUs, which we do regularly, so you should have seen that one already. But if you haven't, go and check them out. Definitely worth viewing if you like to do these little tuny bits. I find them quite helpful, and most people that have watched them so far that have commented have also found them quite helpful. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get our beautiful Chevrolet onto the drag strip. Let's enter a tournament and see what we can do with the Opala. We're at the drag strip with the Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE edition with its drag rating of D169 and 307 horsepower after all of our tuning. Let's get on with it though. King of the Sands, quarter of a mile. We're obviously in D class where our entry fee is only 400. I wonder who we're going to be up against today. Let's have a look. Killer 9009, nice to see you, Pine, in a Ford Mustang GT. Like that one. We got Skin Gravel in the Mercedes-Benz G-Class, the US spec. Clearly stated on there. Cobra the Koala down here in the FMW Oracle XS from Grand Theft Auto. Loving that one. And a collection of other cars. Nothing too over the top as I'm seeing here. Nothing seems absolutely wild or crazy. So hopefully should be quite a fair race. As we say, our first race is against the Ford Mustang GT, which could be quite hard, driven by Pi Newton. So let's see how we get on with the race number 1. Can we make it through to the next round with the Chevrolet Opala? Ford versus Chevrolet. I feel like we've done this before. Deja vu, but maybe not these quite exact cars. Ford Mustang GT versus Chevrolet Opala. Who's going to take the win in race number 1? Let's go. Come on, you little Chevrolet. Can we beat a Mustang? It's highly doubtful, but we're going to give it our best shot anyway. We're winning. We're winning off the line. What's it going to feel like when we get into our top gear? Because everything's going to slow down. I'm just waiting for that Mustang to fly past me. Although it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And across the line, race number 1 in the bag. 14.687 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Just a tad bit slow, that one. At 150 kilometers an hour. Not too shabby, but we did beat the Mustang. Almost a second in it. And about 5 kilometers an hour as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. But we were quite a bit higher on it in the drag rating. But race number 1 is done. Let's get on race number 2 and see if we can make it to the semi-finals. Well, we knocked out Pi Newton, or Killer 9009, in the Mustang GT. We have a sadly lost Skin Gravel in the G-Wagon, but it was a G-Wagon, and it was against the Saleen Ford Mustang. So there we go. Cobra the Koala still in, though, in the FMW Oracle. We are at opposite ends of the table. It's the only place we can meet Cobra the Koala is in the final. Will it happen? Will we make it? Will Cobe make it? Let's go find out with our next race against the Cadillac Fleetwood. Cadillac versus Chevrolet. This is one you probably don't see too often on a drag strip. I quite like this. We've got 2 square-bodied cars. One of them, I'd say, is a bit more luxurious than the other, but it is what it is. Who's going to win on the drag strip? There is only one way to find out. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little Opala. Off the line. I never feel comfortable with these starts, but we are beating the Cadillac, and we are pulling away from the Cadillac. Off you go. Hopefully we can keep it up and keep this going into the rest of this race and make sure we win it and make it to the semi-finals, which we have done. Loving that one. 14.723 for this run. Not quite as good as our first run, but it's about the same. At 150 kilometers an hour, still at the same speed. But again, about a second in it between us and the Cadillac. Although the Cadillac was, again, a lot worse than the first race Mustang that we did. But we've made it through to the semi-final. That's what's important. Who are we up against? Let's go find out. It's the semi-finals, and sadly, we've lost Cobra the Koala in the FMW Oracle. Bit of a shame on that one, but still in this race, or round, whatever you want to call it. You've got the Ford Mustang Bullet, the Edgewood Wildcat, a Salem Earthquake Rex, and obviously our Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE. We got to take on the Earthquake Rex, which is a truck, whereas the 2 muscle cars are going to be facing off against each other. Are we going to make it to the final? Who else is going to be in the final? Let's go find out. Are we about to lose to a double cab pickup truck? I certainly hope not, but I could see it happening. I think that's got a V8 under the hood. So we've only got our little inline 6. Definitely power-wise, it should be going to the Salem Earthquake, but maybe, just maybe, we're light enough to be able to beat it off the line. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little Opala. That was close to not being in time. Oh, we have absolutely smashed it off the line, but can we keep it up? Because we know that that's going to have a V8 in it that's going to be very, very powerful and probably might fly past us. Come on, Chevrolet, and across the line. Love to see it. We've made it to the final and absolutely smashed that Earthquake Rex. I thought that was going to do a little bit better than it did. 14.684 seconds for us at 150 kilometers an hour, which is just beating our first run. New fastest run of the day for the semi-finals, but we have made it into the final. Are we going to win the final and take home all the prize money? Fingers crossed on that one. Let's go see who we're up against and if we can do it. We've made it to the final and we're against the Edgewood Wildcat. I'm surprised no Mustangs made it through, if I'm being truly honest. There was a couple of them in there, or Ford Mustangs, shall we say. But yes, Edgewood Wildcat versus Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE. Diplomata, it sounds like a weird word. It doesn't seem right. But anyway, let's crack on. It's the final race of the day. Are we going to take home 2,100 credits, or are we going to take home the full prize money? To do that, we need to beat Peter Bennett in the Edgewood Wildcat. Wildcat versus Diplomata. Still doesn't sound right, but anyway, it is the Edgewood Wildcat. It is the Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE. It's the final race of the day. Can we win? We've managed to beat everyone else so far, even if it has been by some tight margins. Let's go. Come on, Edgewood. We're going to beat you. We're going to knock you out. We're going to take all of the prize money. Oh, are we? I don't think we are. I think the Edgewood Wildcat might just be tipping it out and taking the win in the final race. There she goes in front of the windscreen. Bit of a shame, but we made it a lot further than I anticipated we would in the Chevrolet Opala, and that was not our best run of the day at 14.772. But the 14.249 from the Edgewood would have beat any one of our fastest runs of the day. We still managed to have the same top speed, very consistent with speed throughout this tournament. All four races we've had the same at top speed, and we've realistically been within a 100th of a second of each time. So it is what it is. We've lost in the final to the Edgewood Wildcat, although its drag rating was higher than ours, so I guess that does make sense. Let's get back, let's claim our prize money, then get back to the garage, see if we could sell on this beautiful Opala for a nice bit of profit, and see what we've got coming up next. There's our prize money. We didn't get the full tournament winnings, but I'll take 2,100, especially considering we only paid 400 to enter this tournament. It's always nice to win some money, even if we don't win the total prize pool. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to the garage. Well, there we go from the Chevrolet Opala. We managed to come 30th out of 33 on the speeder board with a 14.684 seconds to the quarter mile with a top speed of 150 kilometers an hour. But anyway, let's talk some facts and figures. We bought this car for $7,578 and could have sold it and lost out on $1,796 at the beginning of the episode, but we didn't do that. We spent $10,077 upgrading the suspension and engine bay, including the exhaust, getting all of that sorted, shiny and new, ready to go. For the engine and liquids, including the gearbox and starter, was $10,132. For the bodywork, the interior and getting that frame sorted was $9,759. Our beautiful wheels and tyres were $13,232. Our private plates, as usual, 1,700, and our paint and finishing was 14,950. We also paid 400 to enter a drag tournament, but we did win at 2,100 from that drag tournament. Pits our total spend for this vehicle at 65,728. We didn't spend massive on it, but it's still quite a lot. Anyway, let's get off the B-roll, back to this beautiful Chevrolet Opala, looking fantastic. And I do like that engine in there. The blue and white is a nice combination, I think, for this vehicle, with a few subtle hints of black, obviously, dotted around, just to give it a little bit of detail. I'm pleased with how it turned out, but was it worth 65,728? Let's get in and take a look. There she is, all 100% finished, and that's what made me choose this colour. Literally a colour dot or square on the screen has made me pick this colour, although we did change it ever so slightly because that was a solid finish. But there we go. That engine tuned up from 161 horsepower to 307, a gain of 91%. Always happy with that one, especially when it's up to a whole new engine. But it did cost us $65,728 to get there. Is there some money to make from the Chevrolet Opala? With a sale of $98,141, there definitely is some money to be made. A total of $32,413 from this beautiful Diplomata SE. I've quite enjoyed this one. It's not a standard sort of build. I do like the square bodies. This is a bit too raised up for me. Maybe one day we'll make our own config of it, see if we can get some wide body stuff on there, make it look a little bit cooler than it does already. Definitely slam it down because the ride height on this one is way too high for me. But there we go. I've enjoyed the Chevrolet Opala. Links in the description below, but it is on the Steam Workshop, so it'd be very easy to find without it. Let's get this one sold. We'll take our 32,000 profit, and let's go and have a look what we've got coming up next as we head over to the trailer. This is another Mazda MX-5, but this is the more modern Mazda MX-5. This one was modded in by Lit, and we've gone for the Pandem edition wide body kit galore. This is going to look, fingers crossed, fantastic. I absolutely love this. If you haven't got this mod, you should definitely go get it. There are 7 configs. It's on the workshop. Go and grab it. It's a lot of fun. The engine in this one is the i4 2-litre double overhead cam rear wheel drive engine, pumping out 219 factory horsepower. So we definitely could increase that a little bit. My question to you is, though, do we want to go down the drag strip, or do we want to take this one around the racetrack? Because we haven't been to the racetrack in a little while. So if you do want to see it on the racetrack, let me know. Otherwise, we will go back down the drag strip with the beautiful Mazda MX-5. So make sure to join us back here on Monday for the beautiful Mazda MX-5 Pandem edition with a lovely wide body kit on it. What did you think of the Chevrolet Opala Diplomata SE that we did today? Do let me know in the comments below. Leave a cheeky little like if you enjoyed it, and share this video if you think someone else might enjoy it, or some of the other content on my channel would be muchly appreciated. You can also become a member of the VM Garage Club by clicking the join button below, where you get access to all of my exclusive custom configs and liveries on the Discord, where we can also chat, have a laugh, have a bit of fun, share builds, so on and so forth. You also get access to the videos one day early, the day before everybody else, exclusively for my channel members, which are these guys here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, every single one of you. You are fantastic. Thank you for being members. Thank you for sticking around. I always appreciate it. Most importantly, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.